6 affordable heels, all from Amazon. I'm Ashley, time for a breather. Let's get in the video. First up, guys, we have this pretty pink number. This is a little bit of a smaller heel here. It is like, I'd say 3 inches or so. But the really cool thing about this is if you can see, it's like a full circle heel. It's not like your standard stiletto heel. So I'm thinking this might be a little bit more comfortable, even though it is like a little bit of a taller heel. It's definitely not a kitten heel or anything. I didn't really realize when I ordered these that this is made out of like a satiny pinky material, but this specifically is like a wildly different material. It's like very sparkly and a very different material than this. It almost looks like they built the shoe and then for whatever reason they wanted to add like an ankle strap to it, so they like sewed and glued this part on, which I don't really understand that. But honestly, I do think just looking at someone, you're not like directly in contact with their feet, right? Presumably. So I don't really think a whole lot of people would really notice. They would just see like, oh, cute pink shoe and then move on, right? But I do think this is a very cute shoe. Pink, summer 2023, we know this, but it is definitely a little bit different, which is definitely what I look for these days. I don't just want like a standard stiletto, pointy toe pump. This has like a little bit of character to it, and I think they're really cute. They're very much in the middle of like, ooh, a little bit scanty, but then also cute, but then also just a little bit weird, which is honestly where I like to be when it comes to fashion. So let me put these on and we'll see how comfortable they are. All right, guys, so here is the problem with these. One, this whole sparkle situation here is a load of crap. There are already glitter specks all freaking over. Oh my gosh, I can't. However, I do understand why they added this ankle strap, because the actual like heel of this is like solid, right? So it's really, really heavy, where the front of this isn't at all. So they needed to add this ankle strap to actually make sure this stays on your foot. Otherwise, it would just completely come off. It's a very unbalanced shoe. Aside from that, these are so freaking adorable from the front. I love the bows, so cute. And again, like I said, from this far away, you can't really tell the weird texture difference in the strap. Like you can obviously tell it's a little bit darker, but as you can see, these are like way too long for me. So since they don't fit, I'm definitely gonna have to return these annoyingly. The front part of these are actually very, very comfortable because it's like actual fabric in the front here. So it actually allows your foot to stretch along the ball part. So that's really, really nice. Pretty comfortable. The strap does help keep the actual shoe on. So I definitely don't think there'd be any problems with wearability. And I think these just look cool all around, right? These are just a different looking pink shoe, not one you see every day, but just a little bit big for me. All right, guys, next up, we have this really chunky heeled, definitely taller heeled than the last one, but it has like a really long string to like wrap around your calf, which I do like. I love having an ankle strap or something that actually holds the shoe in place. If it was just like this is the only thing actually attached to your foot, I would definitely be losing this shoe here, there, and everywhere. So I do definitely appreciate a little bit additional support here and there. This one also has like a weirder heel. It's like a full bar, which, because I'm like a little stiletto tiny thing, this is gonna give me a little bit more support. Not a whole lot, but also since this is gonna be like literally strapped to my calf, I do think this would be a very comfortable shoe. Also, they've got some like padding going on, which I also appreciate. I'm not like the biggest fan of this like more like flat toe. I don't like a super pointy witch toe or anything, but I do like the little like point at the end of toes. Gives it like a little bit more of like an elongation of the foot. And honestly, I have like a pretty stubby short foot, so I like mine to just look a little bit lengthened. But honestly, that's like the least of my problems. That would give me like a 5% differential on any shoe out there, so not the worst style in the world. I am gonna say, I already know I will be returning these, mostly because I thought this was like a hot pink, but this is definitely more in like the mauve category. I don't really like this color. I like only very specific shades of pink. I either need you to be like a super pastel baby pink or like a super hot like Barbie true pink. This is kind of a little bit more in like the purple territory. Not for me, but I will try them on because they do feel like a really nice quality shoe. This is a heavy shoe, which again, luckily there's like a little bit of strappage here to actually like hold it onto your foot, because I do think you get a calf workout for sure. But let's try these on and see how they actually feel. All right, guys, we have our pink gladiator heels here. I think these are incredibly uncomfortable, mostly because the actual toe strap of these is so thin, and the actual back, since it's just like a tie situation, it's like my toes are struggling so hard to keep this shoe on my foot. Like everything is getting pressed into this little strap when I am standing. That's very annoying. However, I can feel that the actual heels of my feet are very comfortable, mostly again because we have that block situation in the back there. I do not like this color, not for me. And here is my problem with a lot of these like tie calf shoes. Do you see it's already starting to like sag and go all the way off? When it comes to fabrics, because this is like a suede, when it's so like kind of stretchy and soft and slippery, this is definitely not going to stay on my calf all night. I would definitely either need to have to like fully tie it around the ankle, which kind of loses its appeal. I don't get like this whole ballerina vibe. The only other thing, which these are obviously a very bright color. Can you see, this is just the insert that came on the bottom of the heel. Can you see like this staining right there? That goes to show how lower quality of a heel this is, just because these were essentially dyed and then they were not washed at all. A lot of more expensive shoe brands will essentially steam wash their shoes to make sure dye does not run off of the shoe onto you or anything else. And especially since I am a very pale skinned girly out here, I get the feeling that if I was to wear these, especially all along my calf, and sweat or get hot, at the end of the night, I bet you there would be lines here because the dye would literally just sink into your skin once it got a little bit wet. So for more of an affordable shoe, I get it, it's fine, especially if this is like maybe more of like a one-time wear, a vacation wear shoe. This obviously isn't really most people's everyday shoe, so that's fine. And I can tell it's actually like really structured, good quality, heavy shoe. It's just pretty uncomfortable and definitely not my color. Up next, guys, look at this freaking shoe. Oh my gosh. It is so beautiful, but also I think a little bit gaudy, but I'm kind of like here for it. Cause again, I'm into like the weird shoes, but still has to be a little bit classy. And like the general shape of this is like your classic stiletto Louboutin, definitely with like just a little bit of like grandma god in there, but like so wild and cool at the same time. The iridescence of this, if you can't tell, like the actual shoe part of this is kind of like a glittery metallic like charcoal, and then on top they've put like all of these rhinestones that kind of reflect the multi-chrome. It is so pretty. And this like little weird flower thing. Like I don't know why, who, where'd it come from, who designed this, but it is just like so freaking cool. It's almost like a lily, like off of a lily pad, right? I love that so much. This is an incredibly tall heel, which I don't really prefer because there's no ankle strap. However, I do have essentially like an add-on where like a thing that like it scoops around here and makes it an ankle strap. I do have a lot of those things to like help me out in this situation because the beautifulness of this shoe just makes me so freaking happy. I will say I can tell this is a little bit lower quality of a shoe just by looking at it, mostly because the actual placement of the rhinestones I can tell is off. It's kind of like they probably used like a spray adhesive on this, placed them, and then left the shoe to dry just like this, and you can see like some of the jewels kind of like shifted downward, which not the greatest. However, again, who's looking at your foot that closely? I don't know. No one's really looking at my feet that closely except me, and I don't really care. So I think this is just so freaking pretty. I hope this fits because it looks a little bit big. but I might be able to pull it off. So let's try it on here. Guys, who is she in these shoes? My freaking Lord. These are so cool and beautiful and magical all at the same time. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see, they are definitely about a half size, almost a full size too big. But these are just so, I'm tempted to keep these just for decor because look at them. Look at these shoes. I mean, how can you not? They are incredibly uncomfortable, I will say that, but this is like a very freaking tall heel. Why wouldn't they be? There isn't even really that much of a squishy lining or anything in there, so you're like free balling it here. Look at how just pretty and just so chicly abnormal these shoes are. I cannot get over it. I will say, however, if you can see, because again, this is a more affordable shoe, you can actually like see in there, like this whole flower is essentially on a piece of cardboard that they glued to the shoe, and you can like see it all around the edge here, but who's looking at your foot that closely? I don't know. I am so tempted to keep these because they are so cool, but definitely not something I can wear. If you love this video, then please show me some love by clicking that subscribe button. Not only does it make sure you get more of the content you enjoy, it does help keep my dream alive. It takes a lot of time and effort to bring you a video every single week. So thank you so much for your support. Back to the video. Guys, look at this next freaking shoe. Oh my gosh, look at how much shoe you are getting for the price. That is wild to me. Like, look at how tall this shoe is. I'm a 5'2" girly out here, so this is definitely gonna bring me in line with like average height. Maybe it'll turn me into a totally different person. I don't know, I guess we'll see. This does have an ankle strap on it, luckily, because again, this is a heavy shoe. I need some like a little bit more support so this doesn't just slip off my foot. And it has like little bedazzling thingies on it. They look a little bit cheap, I'm not gonna lie. Mostly because, I don't know if you guys can really see, this particular shade of gold, it's almost like a gold that has like a neon green hue to it. Like it's a very particular shade of gold where you can tell it's like just plastic and it's spray painted on. And on top of that, the actual gold of the buckle is more of like a rose gold. You can definitely tell this was a cheap thing put together. And actually, you know what? This is missing one of the rhinestones right there. And it's definitely nowhere to be found. Honestly, I don't think, I mean, it would bother me if I was planning on keeping the little rhinestones on there, but I would probably tear them off anyway, to be honest. So I guess we're gonna look past that. For this price, hey, I expect like a few flaws here and there, but I'm gonna go ahead and try this on and try to live like my go-go moment. So let's give it a go. All right, guys, here we have our go-go shoes. Now, two things. One, as you can see, couldn't get the ankle strap on. This is so flimsy that I can't even undo the buckle of this to get it on my foot. That being said, I don't know if you noticed anything about these. Can you see the little purple pink hue that's on these now? Do you want to guess where it came from? Those freaking thigh-high shoes. Like, what did I tell you guys? It was literally stained on my hands, and when I went and touched these shoes, it's all over. So those more mauve ones, do not buy. It runs onto everything. Oh my gosh. Sucks so bad because these are actually a very nice quality shoe, I can tell. And especially since they're so tall and have like so much shoe to them, they are heavy. However, they're incredibly comfortable. Whatever weird material is actually made up of this is giving it like some sort of like padding, but also since you have such a thick heel, it's so comfortable. They are almost a full size too big, so I couldn't keep them anyway, but now I definitely can't keep them because they are stained from that freaking I'm gonna literally have to put gloves on to put those other ones back in their box to actually like get them back to Amazon, and then also get my money back for these because that is the biggest bunch of bull I have ever seen. Honestly, if you want a pair of like more go-go looking retro heels that are decently comfortable, they are a little bit more square-toed, so you do get a little bit more extra room in the front of the shoe there. So cute shoe, would still rip off the jewels, but pretty comfortable, especially for this specific look. All right, guys, up next, do you see this shoe? Maybe not, because the majority of it is transparent. The heel on this, it's like a very hard plastic, and the strappiness, there is like an ankle strap on here, so that's nice. This strappy is clear, and it's kind of like a rosy gold on the bottom. I like this concept of like this being open to where you're just gonna, to essentially see your skin through it. That way it's gonna elongate your foot, make your legs look a little bit longer, like, oh Oh, they don't stop. Love that. Again, I'm a short girly. I'm a petite one out here. And I do like that this isn't like just your standard little tiny stiletto. You got a little bit of support here. This one in general is still a pretty freaking heavy shoe. I'm gonna be honest. Like, this heel is adding weight to it. I can tell because the front of the shoe is a little bit less light. There is padding in this one as well, I noticed. So definitely put a little bit of squish factor there just for comfort. This one does have the flat top tip on it. Not my favorite, but oh well. Let's try it on. Let's see how long my legs look in these. Guys, where is the Waldo of shoes is here. Can you even see this shoe? Look at how clear they are. You can like barely tell. You can tell obviously because there's like some like shininess in the light, but if you was in a dark place, people I think might like do a double glance and how does she have shoes? Like, what's happening with her shoes? What's staying on her feet? I don't get it. These are actually really, really nice. They are a little bit uncomfortable on the ball. There's no squish, but that can be fixed. Another thing I really want to point out with the specific material the straps are made out of, this is actually a very pliable plastic, which is good because it's actually more comfortable. Like, it's actually forming around especially my toesy area to actually make it a little bit more comfortable. But the only thing I really did notice when I went to buckle up here, because this is so stretchy and you need to obviously like, there's gonna be a lot of pressure and strain put on like the hole wherever it is. I do fear that after a few wears, the hole might start to tear because it's such a flimsy piece of plastic. Honestly, again, these don't really seem like an everyday shoe, right? These are more like your special occasion shoe. For this price, this like transparent look is really in style and it makes my legs look so freaking long. And I really do like the rose gold of the actual sole. It goes with a lot, honestly, and gives it like a little oomph, a little something extra there. So I definitely think I'm gonna be keeping these ones. Last up, guys, we have this trendy little number here. As you can see, it has like the braidedness. Like, this is a trend that's going around. Not necessarily my favorite, though, because it's more of like a puffy braid, it has to be made out of like a squishy material to get the puff factor. And that means it's gonna be a little bit squishy, a little bit more comfortable material. And this one actually is velvet, like a really nice black velvet. Honestly, any velvet in general is that like lint and things cling to it. And the fact that this is like black on black on black, any little bit of dust that clings to this, you will be able to see immediately. So that's kind of annoying, but this is like one of the trendiest shoe styles and fabrics out there. A lot of black velvet we're seeing. So for something that people want, this is a good price. It is squishy on the inside as well. That's also very nice. A little ankle strap moment. You see how thin this is? There is no padding here. The squish kind of like stops right here. There is nothing there between you and the ground, really. So this is gonna hurt the balls of your feet so badly. However, a little bit of Dr. Scholl's moment, it'll fix that right up. Let's give this a go. Super trendy shoe. Hopefully it isn't too painful. Last up, guys, we have our trendiest braided black velvet shoe here. The thing that really strikes out to me is that they're not like too ill-fitting. It's just like, can you see how much like toe space is left after my toe stops here? It's like very abnormally like a lot of space left over. They look ill-fitting even though these are like my actual size and they do definitely fit the length of my foot. It's just like there needs to be like an inch cut off in the front of this shoe. It looks just like kind of weird and definitely then accentuates the actual like flat square toe of it, which again isn't my preference. The straps on this, like I predicted, are very comfortable. They're such a squishy material. They definitely hug my foot to actually make me feel comfortable that this shoe is gonna stay on my foot all night. Love that. And just in general, they are a comfortable shoe. The sole, not the most squishy. I would definitely still put inserts in these, but for what you're getting for this price, like a very, very high quality for this price shoe. Definitely one that I think would stand the test of time if you're someone who wants to wear these every day. It's not the tallest heel in the world. Very easy to walk in, super comfortable, super trendy. These are a definite keep. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. If you want to see another one of my Amazon shopping hauls, then just click the video here and I'll catch you next time. Bye.